guys, our next artist hasn't been here in about 3 years, but he's back and first time as a solo trip. Is that right? Welcome,
true.
Charles Kelley. Hey.
How are you doing?
I am doing much better now, but no pressure, right? I mean, before when you've come, it's been with Lady A.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it with your career, as long as it's been, this is the first time solo.
Yeah. Oh, well, and obviously we're going to be coming back. We were talking about before we started the interview that we're about to go in and start working on our next Lady A record. But, we've had a little time off making a record. And so I made my second solo record. I just love making music. And so I know we had talked about coming over for my first solo record, which was back in 2016. And then we kind of I had done a tour in the States, and then we jumped back into the next Lady A record, so the timing didn't work out. But I love coming over here. And, and especially with this record, we had seen so much response from, the UK about, are you going to come tour? And I was like, it's not the cheapest place to come bring a band and all this stuff,
No.
but it's really fun. And so this is kind of our dipping our toe in and seeing what, the fan base is as a solo artist,
Yeah, we're really greedy. We don't care how much it costs. We just want you to come. But actually, you brought us a gift coming over. Now I'm going to try to scooch in because
Oh, sorry.
I feel
I'm a laid back.
If I sit as far, watch what happens. If I sit back,
Yeah, my leg.
I'm like a kid.
I can still go.
So
There's
it's
a lot
gonna-
of length right here.
I am going to make you look ginormous. It's going to be
That's
like
why
that.
I'm back here. This is perspective.
It's going to be that forced perspective. So, yeah, I mean, yes, I am small, but I always like to say I'm tall for a hobbit. So there you go. But you actually brought us a gift when you came over. You just released a reimagined version of Can't Be Alone Tonight.
Yeah.
Maren Morris. Love her so much.
Oh,
and I
she's
feel
so
like
talented.
we haven't heard enough from her
Yeah.
lately. Tell me about what it was with that song, because it is on your latest album, your solo album. What made you compelled or say, you know what, this really needs to live as a duet?
Yeah, well, it's kind of cool. For those who don't know, I'm hugely inspired by pretty much every genre of music, but this is a very 80s, a lot of like Bryan Adams kind of influence, and then, even a little bit of yacht rock influence in there. And I just really, I started kind of writing for fun. I didn't know if it was going to be for the new Lady A record or what. And it started kind of coming together and showing itself like this needed to be a solo kind of 80s record. And so anyways, we released it, and Maren, she's just been such a big supporter of the record. She had, talked about how much she liked it. And so I was like, man, it'd be really cool to get a feature on here. And so I actually got another one coming up that I haven't even talked about, but I got Richard Marx to do one too as well. That will be
Wow.
coming out at some point, which is really cool. He and I have become I would say decently close over the past few years, and so I was like, man, if I got Richard Marx, how cool would it be to have someone who's this like legend 80s musician, and then someone even from the country world who's also a little pop leaning like Maren. And she came over. I mean, it came together so fast because you never know. Because obviously I do a lot of duets with Hillary in the group, and we have this kind of like unspoken, just we know how we're gonna split up a duet, and to see Maren kind of come in and have these ideas, and I think it elevated the song so much.
Yeah, she really brought a whole new layer and
Yeah.
element to it. And that 80s vibe, that
Yeah.
really carries over. It is so much fun into the whole album. Do you
Yeah.
think that the 80s might possibly be, the most influential decade for music for you, or is it just for the time being?
It definitely holds a lot. I mean, Bryan Adams, like vocally, that was somebody who I just was obsessed with growing up. But I had a lot of Southern rock influences as well. I grew up playing in cover bands. I mean, you would sing a Garth Brooks song, then you turn around and sing like an Allman Brothers song, then you turn around and do like Bryan Adams or Oasis even. I mean, I would do everything. I played, all through, childhood. I started playing in bands when I was about 13, 14 years old, all through high school. And so, we would play weddings and parties and stuff. And so you had to just know everything. But I've always felt like my voice really fit into that 80s world pretty well. So I don't know. It just kind of naturally came together. It wasn't like I had set out to make this 80s record. I just kind of went in and started writing. And, every time I go in, I would be talking to my, co-writers. I was like, why don't you go over to the keyboard and play some of the synth, like put the 80s
Yes.
synth sound. And it just started really showing itself as this kind of feel. And I mean, even as a band, when you listen to Need You Now, or Just a Kiss, I mean, with light production changes, I mean, they very well could have lived, in an 80s, type of bed, so it's fun to do.
Yeah, and the album is so much fun, and it's really immersive in that kind of 80s nostalgia as well. And you definitely hear like the Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear about Richard Marx because it will lend itself.
Yeah.
I can already hear it. It's going to lend itself so beautifully, but even down to the cover art,
Yeah.
it has really a dedication to
Yeah,
that.
we did.
80s
We wanted
vibe.
to stay really true to it. And, a lot of people are definitely, I feel like it's coming back in such a big way. There's a lot of 80s influences, especially you see with like Charlie Puth and 1975. And we wanted to make sure, though, it felt really authentically like it could have come out at that time. And so we tried to stay away a little bit from too much of a pop current 80s thing. There is a little bit of that in there, but it really, I think we tried to do our best about staying pretty authentically like, okay, this could have been a record, that came out in the 80s. So
And this is the album. Is it your second solo album?
second solo record, yeah.
Songs for a New Moon. Why New Moon?
It's
Why not full moon?
A new
Or-
phase. Yeah, a new moon's like a new phase. So it's
Yeah.
like, and for me, I stopped drinking. I guess it's coming up close to about 4 years ago, and it completely changed my relationship with my wife. And just the whole trajectory of my life, I feel like took on a new, healthier, I would say even just more inspired, kind of meaning. And it wasn't that I was going crazy. I just had hit a point where I felt like it was, I don't know, it was almost just becoming a bit of a crutch. And I felt like I couldn't, I was just kind of, it was just rinse, repeat, with drinking shows and all this. And I just felt like I needed a new outlook on life. And so, I don't know, it just felt like this fresh start. And so it's got a lot of inspiration in the lyrics to this whole record, a lot of forgiveness. My wife has been such a huge part of me sticking to it. And so it's almost like a little love letter to her as well throughout the record. But I'm just really proud of it. It felt like some of the best songwriting I had done in a long time, and I think because it was coming from a place of such honesty.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do have a very timeless cover on
Yeah.
this album as well. It's a song that means so much to so many people,
Yeah.
and it instantly gives you kind of that bittersweet nostalgia when you
Yeah.
hear it. But that's Cyndi Lauper's Time
Yeah.
After Time. What does that song mean to you, and how did
Yeah.
it
Well,
land on the album?
I don't know. It was funny. I was talking to my producer, Sam Ellis, I was like, we got to do some sort of cover on this record. And I don't know. We felt like, okay, let's take a classic female, and that way it really does feel like a different version, reimagined. But I don't know. He had suggested this song, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a great idea. Like I can't take credit for it. And I was like, well, let's just try it. And it's so funny when I sing the lyrics, it just, to me, I think of my kid. And I say now I have a second kid
Yes,
who's 5 months
congratulations.
old. So at the time that this was really, I was singing this thinking about my son Ward, who's 10 years old now. And, it's when you're lost, you will find me time after time. And it's like that I'm always going to be there for him. And so I think that's what I love about song lyrics. Obviously, I think it was written about, kind of missing someone in a breakup, that bittersweet feeling. But to me, like when I sing it, I think of my child.
We like to play a little game called Ring of Quick Fire.
Nice.
But I thought, in honor
Ring of
of
Fire.
your new album, that we would do an 80s version.
Okay, good.
Are you
I
ready?
was hoping you weren't going to say like moon cycles, because I was like, yeah, I don't know much about the moon cycles.
You're like, don't take that
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
don't
don't-
read too much into it.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
have your whole astrological birth
Exactly.
chart planned out for us today. I did
Exactly.
not do that. But I do have some 80s questions.
Okay.
So just rapid fire, first thing that
All
comes
right.
to your mind. Ready? Keyboard or guitar?
For 80s?
Yep.
For 80s, I think it's all about the keyboard.
Yeah. And you hear a lot of that.
Synth, specifically.
Power ballad or the dance anthem?
Ooh, power ballad all day
Yeah.
long.
Mixtape or streaming?
Oh, mixtape.
Heck yeah. How many mixtapes did you make for
All the
girlfriends?
all the time. I even when I met my wife, I made her a mixtape on this CD. I can't lie. I did put a couple of my own songs on there because I was like, she was like, oh, you make some music. I was like, yeah, I'll burn you a couple songs so you can see what it's like. And so yeah, she had a couple of my stuff.
Do you know, I made my husband, we've been married 15 years now, I made him a mixtape CD.
They're the best.
And it had Need You Know on it.
Oh, that's
because he was
really
in the
cool.
Army.
That's amazing. I love that.
Him.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So, okay, 80s dream collab.
Well, I will say, like we like we were talking about, I've got one coming up with Richard Marx, but
Yes.
Bryan Adams would be the other.
Yeah, very dreamy. 1985, no, let's go 1986 to 2026. Which year?
What was better music? 86. Yeah.
86, love it. Key change.
Always.
Yes,
Yes.
or hell yes.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
Got a few of those on this record.
Yes. And what trend would you bring back from the 80s?
Ooh. The stonewashed jeans. I don't know. What trend? Not the hammer pants. Those were not good.
No,
Was
we
that more
can-
90s? I don't know.
I think
yeah.
there's a bit of a crossover, but we can leave it wherever it was.
Yeah. I don't know. I like these little bombers. These are kind of
Same.
80s, so
Yeah.
they're coming back. I wouldn't say that I'm bringing them back, but I think they're back.
He's bringing them back, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for spending the time here with us at CountryLine.
Appreciate
Go
it.
enjoy that show. London's
you.
calling.